Today, I was pondering on the greatness of Imam Hussein and the greatness of Karbala, the greatness of the story that we've been hearing over the past few days and will continue to hear to the 10th day of Muharram, the day of Ashura. And I wrote a short couplet about the Ansar of Imam Hussein who the people of Karbala are commemorating today, which says, I saw Habib ibn Mudahir at the foot of the battle kneel. He says, Allahu Akbar, God is great and Hussein is actually real. Subhanallah. Sometimes I sit, today in fact I was sitting outside the grave of Imam Hussein and despite all the things we hear, all the lessons we hear about the beauty of Imam Hussein, I was sitting there and thinking, Subhanallah, in the midst of all this, someone like Imam Hussein is actually real. His story is actually real. His story actually happened. His values and freedoms, there was actually a person that stood up for such values and freedoms that we learn from till today. And as we know, it's the main thing we hear about the story of Karbala, that Imam Hussein stood up and gave everything, his whole life, the lives of his family and his companions, for the sake of his values, for the sake of freedoms. And as we speak about the journey of Imam Hussein from Medina to Karbala, in the context of what we can learn from it today in the 21st century, the one thing we want to tackle tonight, inshallah, is what exactly are the true values and the true freedoms that Imam Hussein stood up for. As I mentioned, as me and my respected guest Sayyid Ali mentioned and talked about on the first night of these live shows, we living where we live, where all of you watching I'm sure live as well, in the West, where there is democracy, there is freedoms, have this idea of freedom, which is to do anything that you want. And we asked ourselves, is this the same freedom that Imam Hussein stood up for? Because where we come from, we have the freedom not just to live in peace, but the freedom to sit that go well into the early hours of the morning, lamenting the tragedy of Imam Hussein. Sayyidina, everyone here is here to commemorate not just the story of Imam Hussein, not just because he was, even though this is perhaps one of the greatest tragedies, the grandson of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, but also because the reason he stood up was for the values and freedoms that we hold so dearly to. And that's why his message is not just something that speaks to Muslims or just even Shias, but all Muslims and even people of non-faith. So when we ask ourselves what exactly were the values and freedoms that Imam Hussein stood up for, how would you respond to that?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I would like to welcome our dear viewers and guests who have joined us once again through the Imam Hussein TV here in this holy city of Karbala. Imam Hussein alayhi salam makes a very beautiful statement, and through that statement he outlines the sole purpose and the sole aim and objective of this movement, and that is when he says, وَإِنِّي لَمْ أَخْرُجْ أَشِرًا وَلَا بَطِرًا وَلَا مُفْسِدًا وَلَا ظَالِمًا وَإِنَّمَا خَرَجْتُ لِطَلَبِ الْإِصْلَاحِ في أمة جدي أن أأمر بالمعروف وأنهى عن المنكر وأسير بسيرة جدي وأبي علي ibn Abi Talib صلوات الله وسلامه عليه. As you yourself and the respected guests and viewers at home know, that Islam is a set of rules and regulations.